Man, one of the things for me when it came to making videos was fucking I just don't like the inorganic thing, like the whole talking to a screen part. It's like real weird for me. Like when I'm talking to people, I'll immediately, or not immediately, but it's a lot easier to get into flow. So I don't actually got to worry about, you know what I'm saying, whether or not is it hitting? Is it hitting right? Is it like exactly like the way I am? Like is it tapping into my authenticity? Like are they going to be able to perceive and to feel the energy of me in my truth, in my authentic flow state, to where it is like, oh, you're actually having a conversation with me. That's what I'll be trying to get at. But everybody I tried to make a podcast with, or even videos with, even music with, man, I ain't gotta explain nothing. If you know, you know. What's understood don't have to be explained, as they say, right? But yeah, okay. So where should I start? Fucking. All right. So the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So if you're disciplined in one area of your life, it'll affect all areas of your life. So if you're disciplined in one area, then you'll see it start to seep into other aspects of your life. So say like, you know what I'm saying? For me, for example, like I'm like, oh well, I don't feel like, uh, let's say for example, working out, because you know my environment it isn't high energy. It's not really the best fit. You know, can't you know do no fucking jumping jacks or nothing in here, right? So I'm like, no, I'm just not gonna do it. But then overcoming that mental barrier is like saying, no, I'm gonna do whatever I can do here, use what I have, do what's in my limits, and then exceed next my expectation by moving my chess piece on the board another space to get closer to my goal. Regardless of how you feel, you get to step into what you're not because you have that ability to see past your own limits. So even if you can't get there at the moment, you're still able to be like, you know what, some progression or some, what's the word I'm looking for? Some, um, yeah, progression is better than none. So say if all I can do is um, like push-ups because of the environment, right? That's better than just doing nothing. But I say this to say because, like, for example, not for example, but just so you know, like, so I'm working on quitting all tobacco products yet again because this is my, what, second go round? Because I quit cold turkey before, but this will be the hardest because this time I started smoking again because I used to look at tobacco as like, you know, the devil. So, but this is it's the hardest this time because the first time it was because I uh, I sat back on my mom's couch, right. I sat back on my mom's couch, and this is after years of smoking. I was like, let's say 19, 18, 19. But anyway, I know I was, you know, staying with my mom. I used to smoke all the time. You know, I've been smoking since I was like, I want to say 11, 12. You know, his stories don't give a fuck. But that's nor here nor there. But yeah, I started young. And plus, when you around bad influences, they go and they find shit. They get it from their parents or whatever, right? But regardless, there's casualties to every war, meaning like wrong place, wrong time, wrong friend groups, gentrification. You know what I'm saying? Just being in the hood, just negative programming, the infrastructure, the model of thinking, the broken families, everything. So many key components that make us self-destruct and self-sabotage, right? But back to the story. I was sitting on my mom's couch, right? And I remember I couldn't breathe when I'm like, it's a big comfy couch too. I'm like, I'm chilling. I'm like, I sit down. Well, I come from the upstairs in my room. I think I was going down there to, I don't know, just to talk to him and stuff, her and my stepdad. I remember sitting back in the couch, and I had to literally put effort to breathe. And I'm like, ain't this a bitch? Hold up. So I'm like, that it ain't until danger, suffering, pain is when you wake up. Like when you a kid, your mom, whoever, be like, don't touch that stove, it's hot. Don't touch that stove, it's hot. Hey, don't touch it, it's hot. Try to get you to know. And then one day your ass, you fuck around and find out. So that's one of those situations where it's like, yeah, I found out. Like, tobacco products literally is the devil. Because think about it. Wait, what was the original point of this video? Oh, I said the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. Had to rein it back down, you feel me? So I never branch out too far, because everything is intimately connected. That's another story. But yeah, just so I keep in mind what the original topic is, so I don't stray too far. But yeah, so fucking, and I ain't got no intros or nothing yet. I don't got no. I mean, I probably shouldn't be saying that. I should just work on it. But fuck it, you got to see my humanity, my humility, my courage to start something new. Which it ain't really new, because I've been talking my shit forever. But it's just like I haven't been recording, because I'm like, damn, if it'd be cool if I had a podcast. If I talk to somebody, it's organic, it's in flow. But when I'm just talking to a camera, it's easier to get off track. It's easier to be robotic. Not even robotic, but just to not be. It's stale. It's like it's not you. You know what I mean? Like the person on the other end of this that's viewing it. So it's like, yeah, after I start answering questions via the comment section or whatever, or I start doing lives, that's one thing. But it's a whole nother story when you sitting across the room face to face with somebody, you like interacting, you're engaging, you're like, really feeling each other's energy, bouncing ideas off each other and shit like that, right? But yeah, just had to throw that out there. So, but yeah, I remember to rein it back down, I had to, for the, not the original topic, but basically what I was talking about. Okay, cigarettes or tobacco products, right? So one of my main lessons is yeah, tobacco products is the devil, because it depletes your capacity to breathe, to inhale, to intake oxygen, and to exhale, carbon dioxide, right? The reason why I say this is because that is the most essential element on the planet, So besides, what they call ether, I'd say life force, vitality, energy, so, or spatial matter, but that's a whole nother story, because that's a whole different story. It can't be destroyed or nothing like that. Yeah, anyway, oxygen is one of the most important, or probably the most important element, or element that we need to sustain life, right? So why would it be legal to deplete your capacity to intake oxygen? So the stuff that is supposed to be used to give you the effect that what you're going to tobacco products for, which tobacco wasn't originally used the way it is now with the extra additive chemicals and shit, right? It was used for medicine. So, but that's another story. What I'm trying to say is like, maybe I shouldn't go into that. Because it's just like, anyways, the point I'm getting at is they're foul, right? They do that on purpose. There's alcohol and drugstore, you know what I mean, like in church on every corner, right? Drugstore, you know, corner store and church on every corner. So the alcohol and tobacco products give you the fake, the void filling, or not filling, but substitute, and then the church gives you the spirit substitute, whereas the church is you. You know what I'm saying? Like you are the temple. You know, you have to turn inwards. So whatever you read, whatever you experience, won't make sense if you don't do the inner work. You'll just be reaching in the dark, trying to find your keys in a completely dark room with no light. You gotta, and that motherfucker is like a fucking museum. You know what I mean? And it's like you're not going to find it without actually doing the work and sifting through the darkness. You know, coming to terms with shit, healing shit. And then that's when the light gets bigger and bigger and bigger, and then it spans throughout the whole room. So you don't, you know what I mean? And as far as, or just as simple as turn on the flashlight, right? I use the expanding of the light because it makes it more sense because of how much in depth it goes to do the inner work and how to sift and heal through darkness, you know, to make them come, you know, together, right? So, but the point I'm getting at is yeah, that's one of the most essential elements. Yet it is one of the main things they promoted for us to use. You know what I mean? It was actually considered healthy at one point in time. Which the point of me saying this was to rein it back down, because I almost forgot again. It's the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So the same way I was like, you know what? No, even though I'm on probation, right? Even I was like, no. And the only reason why I started smoking was because, you know, I already had that, how do I say, because I wasn't smoking when I first got out. So I think it was because I got around people who were smoking weed a lot. And I was just like, man, I wish I could smoke. Or they, you know, they'll try to pass it to you, but they don't mean to. But it's just like, that still makes you like, man, I wish I could hit that. And then one day, the girl I was talking to asked me to go get her a vape. Because I remember I would, what I was doing at first while we was still door dashing and shit, me and the homie, or used to be homie, right? Fucking, I would get the 0%, because I used to do that back when I had the actual tanks. The tanks. But not to advocate for the 0% nicotine either, because all of it is bad. The whole point is to get rid of the stimuli, as Jason Silva said. I forgot what he said, who he originally quoted, but I remember him saying, stimuli render stimuli invisible. So that means, like, you do it so much that it becomes second nature, like the back of your hand. You don't even notice you doing it anymore. So it's just like, the whole point is to get rid of that, because our main thing is to become mindful. So actually, everything branches out too much. Somebody fucking anchor me back down to earth, because I end up in the cosmos for real when I'm speaking to you. But yeah, rein it back down. Tobacco is making it where, because if you need to breathe, to think, imagine the chain effect of smoking. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't breathe, you can't think. And if you can't think, you're going to make more bad decisions. You make more bad decisions, then you're going to build up trauma. And you know what I mean? And then there's a lot of other key components, because everything I say, everything is intimately connected, as I said earlier, right? So that ties into, man. I ain't nowhere near, nah, cause that's a long. I'm trying to figure out a way to. There's power in less words, so I'm trying to figure out a way to, cause instead of me just putting everything into like a 10-hour long video, what I should do is just be like boom, 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 key points, so that way people don't, cause people's just attention spans is getting shorter by the minute and every day, and it's just like some people like me, like I if I see a video on YouTube and it's only like a minute or two, I'm not as prone to watch it as I would one on Instagram. I don't know. It's like a mind trick, you know, because Instagram, it's gonna be short, or it could be longer, you know. But it just depends on your target audience, what time they got. Because sometimes you prefer the shorter video because you just like, oh, I'm just waiting on them to call me back, or for me to get to once I'm done with break, I gotta get back to work, right? So it just depends on who, where, why, how, what mind state they in, because it depends on their receptivity, their flow, meaning like their frequency they're operating on, plus everybody going at their own pace. There's so many different factors into that, right? Or key components. But to keep it basic, that makes it where you're easier to be controlled, because when you breathe, you anchor in. You know what I'm saying? Like you center in yourself. You that's literally the thing that keeps you in your body, right? So to take that away from you, what do you think that means? You know what I'm saying? Or to limit it, or to put like a clamp on the tube, which the tube is the airways, right? It's like to restrict it. And it's like, to say that is to say these niggas really are the devil. Because why would you do that to a people if we're, one, all intricately connected? We're all, one, at the root of the core of our beings, right? Like the earth's skin. Like we're all functioning like the earth's body. And for something to be like, you know what? What do they try to say tobacco's good for? I don't know, depression or something like that. What the fuck does it cure? What is the ailment that it remedies? So they say, you know what I mean? Not saying that it does, but just saying like, what is their what do they say it's for? Because I remember at one point in time it was be cool. It was a tactic used to make women, you know what I mean? It was a whole thing back then, right? So not even to get into all of that. Fuck what it, all of that. The main thing is do you understand why it's legal, what it's put here for? Like we could all tell you. You use that correctly when there's no chemicals at it, right? It's just natural. It could be used to cure cancer and all type of shit, right? Tobacco was used as medicine. Alcohol was used for medicinal purposes as well. Bitters. So it's just like, to even say that all the things they use to try to distort us or to sabotage us, they make it seem like that's the way it's always been. Like, I'm sure even the drugs they have was probably used, except for that shit that's like real chemical based. You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't even gonna get into the drug part right now. But the main thing is the shit that's legal. Because we could even get into Adderall and all the rest of them, right? But we just gonna keep it simple. Excuse me. We all got a sad story. We all been through some shit. We all, clawed our way out of hell. At least the people in my clan, the tribe, So anything that I come to you with is definitely, I suffer to get that. So by all means, I'll just say this. No, actually, instead of getting into that, what I'll say to bring it back down, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So the minute I quit tobacco and I did it cold turkey, yet again, for the second time in life, to show me my resilience, to show me like you, this time I can't smoke, I can't drink, I can't fuck with women, you know, because sex is an addiction or avoid feeling, you know what I mean? Thing that people can use to anything could become an addiction. Now I'm kind of overeating, but you know, that could tie into the fact that I didn't have food when I was growing up. So that's a whole nother story, right? That's a whole nother rabbit hole for another time. So, but the point I'm getting at is you can feel like, what's he say? Nature. I forgot how he said it, but it's like a vacuum. So whenever you remove something or you get rid of a bad habit, you have to hurry up and fill it with a healthy habit, because it'll start just pulling at whatever it can. You know, it'll just start. That's why you feel empty, like, you know what I mean? When you trying to let go of a bad habit, because it's like it's just grabbing at whatever, you know, like a tornado, you know. So, yeah, definitely gotta have something in place, you know, like painting, walking your dog, you know, something that's healthy. Pottery, rock climbing, hell, fucking video games, anything that's better than what you let go. Video games could even become bad because too much screen time is always bad, right? That's a whole nother story. Everything is a whole nother story. So let me not go there. So, but yeah, I just know if I'm actually talking to somebody, it's a lot different. It's like more organic, it's more flow, it's more like boom, 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 or like, you know, it's better responses, it's more in depth, it's more, you know, this and that. The sauce is definitely saucing, but like right now it's just kind of like, I hope I don't forget this, I hope I don't do that and whatnot, and it's just weird. So that's the reason why. That's the reason why when I first started, I was still struggling with certain addictions that made me not be able to, not just addictions, but like just bad, you know, self-sabotage. We'll just keep it at that. Self-sabotage. Wrong friends, uh, wrong everything, wrong habits, and you could hear it in the tone or my vibration as I made those videos. When I'm running them back and I'm like, I know myself though, like my core self. So when I'm seeing those videos and I'm like, you choppy, you like, I don't know how to describe it. It wasn't, you know, flow. It's like turbulent. And I'm like, something's wrong. And I could hear that and I could see it, you know, I could sense it. But it's like, back then I didn't think nothing of it because I was still in the storm. So right now that I'm freeing myself of so many things, then it's even more perceptible. It's even more blatant, more obvious. So 23 okay, so but yeah, just saying, like, whenever I let go of something, I notice that I'll fill it with something else. So that's number one. I want you to keep that in mind, because that's gonna be your biggest problem. It's not necessarily what you let go of, it's what you fill it with. So if you don't have nothing to fill it with, it's gonna feel like hell and you're just gonna be dragged. But if you do have something to fill it with, like me, for example, I fill it with food, which isn't good, but it's better than, you know, until I get to the next healthy habit, which there's a lot of limits on my life because of, you know, certain, you know what I mean? I can get into all the details of that later. Matrix attack on Matrix. You know what I'm saying? But let me not go there. We're just gonna keep it at that. It's been like that since before I was born, you know? It's like they knew I was coming, you know, the chosen, and one of the chosen ones, because there's a lot of us. I'm realizing that now, but when I first started realizing or becoming aware of what the fuck was going on out here, I thought it was just me alone in all of this. But we'll get into that later. But what was I getting at? Yeah, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. But I cannot leave without leaving my people something. The clan, you know what I'm saying? I love y'all. Yeah, my people, and I've been thinking about that every day, and I'm like, damn, I keep pouring into people, and they don't actually like me, or they actually hate me. You know what I'm saying? And then I'll be realizing that when it's too late, when I done poured everything I could into them, and I'm like, damn, if only I could give this love to the people who actually deserve it, who actually, needs it, who actually, you know what I mean? Where I could actually be like all the way 110, and it be reciprocated. I mean, not even reciprocated. I mean, yes, that too, because, that's how it works, Nobody gonna accept your love and be like, oh, it's just for me, and then I run, No, it's gonna be like where it's actually digested and it's taken in and it's appreciated, So that way it's not like I'm just giving to these people who trying to find out more about me so they can use it against me or, whatever, right? So, but the point I'm getting at, though, is this is how I find y'all, because I know y'all out there. Like they say, you got to make a, sound off the beacon, put out that frequency, and then your people will find you, because they don't know where you at if you're not on the radar or you're not making no noise. So, but yeah, we'll just start here. Start with the disciplines and a little bit about me. Yeah. So number one, I mean tobacco, and I already got into the alcohol. Alcohol is a hard one because I feel like that's the easiest one. Like cigarettes, you like, hell no. But alcohol is like, somebody could talk you into it. Maybe I'll have one. I guess one won't hurt. You know what I'm saying? I guess you go for the feel. Like cigarettes, nothing good come from that. You'd never be like, oh, I missed that feeling of that lightheaded feeling that cigarette gave me. Or I missed the taste. No. Alcohol is a little different. Depending on how much shit you've been through, and if you grew up with it, and it's like being a wine connoisseur. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have appreciation for it. You know what I mean? Like a love for it almost. A love-hate relationship, because they might know it themselves that it's not good for them. But they still going to be like, they have a love for it anyways. So it's just like, yeah, that could be it, That might be a bad analogy, but the point I'm getting at is like, you can grow a love for it, even though it's no good for you. Alcohol determines from it derives from the term al-ghul, which means body eating spirit in Arabic, right? So you literally drink it, spirits. That's why wine and spirits. You drink spirits to weaken your spirit so lower level entities can enter you. And then where do you drink these spirits? In clubs. And I learned this from Ralph Smart. And why you think they call it a club? Because they're beating you to death. The music. Because the music is never high vibrational. It ain't like they in the club dancing to Free Soul or something like that. And then even if they was, why would they be drinking alcohol? When you listen to that higher vibrational music, you don't think, oh, let me drink alcohol. You know what I mean? You probably thinking, let me sage, let me juice something, let me, you know what I'm saying? Let me go stand out in nature. You know what I'm saying? We could bring the fucking the speaker out here, and be under the sun or under the stars, really tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Fuck it, get some instruments going. We fuck around, start playing the drums to the fucking to the campfire or whatever, right? So yeah, so tobacco, alcohol, drugs is a no fucking brainer. We not even going into that. Like, psychedelics aren't drugs, because even weed is a psychedelic, right? Or plant medicine, as they say, right? So we're not going to get into plant medicine as being necessarily bad, but anything you use incorrectly or you abuse will fuck you up. That is very true. Or if it's tainted in any way, like they didn't make it right or they put something else, yeah, of course it's going to fuck you up. But natural plant medicines, like you grow shrooms, we're not even going to get into that. Anyway, so the point I'm getting at is plant medicines don't count when I say drugs. Even though a lot of the drugs is made, everything was made in nature, except that they concoct some shit and they make it toxic for you. Like everything in nature isn't necessarily good for you, right? So, but the point I'm getting at, if it's known since ancient times to be used as a healing practice, modality, or tool, then chances is that they try to deem it or demonize it or weaponize it, then yes, that's the hidden hand. Once again, not saying that's the only way that the hidden hand works, but that's their way of fucking up, like being like a serpent, subtly moving through things and tampering with it. And, what's the word I'm looking for? Anyway, we'll get into that later. But drugs, okay, so I'd say the worst, tobacco. Well, no, not the worst. It's drugs, obviously. But second is tobacco, then alcohol. Because alcohol is a motherfucker, too. I don't even know. I don't even think this shit got an order. I'm going to just say all of it's number one. Fuck it. Because sex is just as bad as all of them, too, right? You have sex with the wrong motherfuckers. Let's not even get into porn, either. So, yeah, it's just, I could talk for days. I'm just trying to figure out where to start, because I've been wanting to talk forever, but it's just, to find my people and to pour into them, because talk is an understatement. No clear the gravity of how much that is an understatement doesn't even make sense to why that was even uttered. The point I'm getting at is I wanted to pour into my people since I became aware, since I woke up. But just didn't know how, had to fight through so much shit, and now that I came on top of that shit, I might not be where I want to be, but it's still like, I'm not guaranteed to get there, and I have to do something. Because imagine how many of us is fallen from grace or being led astray because they don't have people like us in their lives. Like, there's people that I faithfully get on YouTube or Instagram and watch every day or every time they come on, because they're feeding our spirits, so that keeps us going. So it's like it's always gratitude and honor, right? It's honor to, super grateful to have them, super honorable people, and it's commendable what they do. But it's like, they say you're supposed to produce more than you consume. So my thing is I wanted to get so what's the word I'm looking for? I wanted to study my craft or my field of expertise so much where I'm the go-to on it, right? But it's not even the case, because everybody's supposed to have a start, and you're not supposed to be perfect when you first start, and nobody really reaches perfection. So really, my thing is just starting right now. I'll figure out the rest as I go. But as for right now, I just have to focus on putting out content every day, because one, my people need it, and two, it's it's reciprocal. Like, me pouring into others is me pouring into myself, because we're all interly connected at the root of things, right? So I can't pour into you without pouring into myself. So maybe that aspect that I was looking for was in the work that I was avoiding, because I thought I had to be perfect to start. or I had to be accomplished or established or make a certain amount of money or to have a certain kind of uh, peers or support group or team to get started. Like there's no studio, even though I could have, if I'd have started, no, I wouldn't have been ready. But say if I'd have started back when I still did have my studio, which I'm not even gonna bring up the past. The main thing is I'm gonna get my bag, I'm gonna get me another studio, and then and it's on, It's never not been on. It's just a lot of roadblocks, a lot of hoops I had to jump through, a lot of shit I had to go through to get where I am now. To say, okay, this is the beginning. So it's just gonna get better. It's gonna get better from here. But yeah, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. That was the original base topic for discussion. So I don't want to leave the video without actually explaining what I mean. Okay, so I think I did though. Okay, so yeah, yeah. So when the same way I said about the working out thing, if you build that resilience, you build that I'm telling my mind what to do. I'm telling my body what to do, because your mind is governed by your heart. Your heart is ultimately what makes all the decisions, because if you ain't got the heart for it, yeah, your mind is what conquers your body, but your heart and your mind has to work in tandem. So it's just like, you know what's best for you. You know what you should do. You know how to maneuver yourself. So like some days you're not going to be able to go 100%. You're not going to be able to max out in the gym. You're not going to be able to do everything. Your energy levels is different every day. So as long as you work with yourself, you love yourself, you tend to yourself like a garden. You nurture yourself like your little brother, your little sister, and you be like, hey, it's okay. You fall, I got you. You pick them up. You clean off they wound, bandage them up, and you carry them on your back, and you just talk to them on the way home, right? Like, we'll try again tomorrow. You just be there for yourself, like a real friend through everything. So that way, it's like when you nurture that space, when you nurture that energy, like your inner child is everything. So if you're not like actively working on yourself, it'll feel neglected. It's like, how when kids see grown folks talking and they start screaming and stuff, or they'll just come up and start messing with you because they want your attention, or they want to be included, they want to be seen, they want to have attention, right? So they start flipping out, right? Because they want that attention. So your inner child will start doing the same thing. We're all that same we were all 5 years old, yes? So then we all have that inside of us. So we are both, time is not linear. So like everything is happening all at once right now. Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's like your future self, your past self, all of it's one, all of it's, happening right now. Because even back then, it was now. And in the future, it's going to be now. So it's just like all of that conjuncts into one. And to make sense of it all is the point I'm getting at, is the more that you work on yourself, the more easier to be able to let go of bad habits, because you'll know that, one, I will say, is suffering too. But I don't think nobody, especially nobody that I feel like that is attracted to me, like to my channel or to my energy, you've been through it, you know what I mean? So you understand overstand what I'm saying. So what I'm trying to say is like, okay, so you get like, to do the inner work is to heal the inner child, or to tend to them, because healing is a process. It's not a completion. It's not a finish line for healing. So it's more so of like a journey. So we're all walking each other home, and home is back into self. Self is the kingdom is heaven. So once we get our body right, maybe I should get into that. But it's already 40 minutes, man. Maybe I should make shorter videos. Nah, fuck it. So maybe I should. Yeah. I guess what I'll do is just put this out, see what it does, and then see, or I just go off of it tomorrow, and then I could be like, oh yeah, I was going to talk about this. I don't know, but it's a conversation, so that way we pouring into each other. And you tell me like, hey, don't be on a video talking about what you should be doing, and just do this or do that, or it's up to me what I do regardless. But just saying, like, it'll be bouncing ideas off of each other, so that way I'll know what's the best decision. Because based off of what constructive criticism or whatever, then it'll be like, oh, okay, well, I can see that. I'm open-minded and receptive. So if it resonates, then I'll be able to make that adjustment and become that much better. So, but yeah, because they already been talking about it. I remember when I first heard that years ago, the quote, the way you do one thing is the way you do all things. I've been living by that ever since. I think I was, it's been some years though. It's like, because I always knew. It's like, you ever see a person that is built, like, a bodybuilder built, like they just built, damn well that even if they have shortcomings, they can they have a certain level of control over their minds, or at least they should. Because, just because you bodybuild doesn't necessarily make you spiritually inept, meaning like in control of your energy or your mind. Like it's part of it. That's a vital part of it, is the physical, because that's what I was going to say earlier, is getting all your bodies in alignment. So physical would be the earth element would be the physical. So that would be working out, facing your fears. Like, don't literally die trying to put yourself in danger, but at the same time, it's like you once you've almost died, or you've been through some shit where it's like you were in danger, then you have like a certain type of resilience or confidence, or you might want to ball up in a shell, but you'll come out of it later. But like, once you did that, you've been in the lion's den, you kind of become a lion. You know what I'm trying to say? So fear, all this up human nature, right? So like all your levels of body, so the physical is earth element, the emotional, which is the water element, and then the I want to say the heart is like the ether, because it's the merge, it's the completion process, it's where the infinity ring links. So that's what makes the ether, is the balance between the higher self and the lower self, that makes it where once they're in sync, then you get that God particle, or you get that God frequency, where it's like, then you're tapped in and you can access the spirit realm and your psychic senses and shit like that, right? So basically what I'm trying to say is like, okay, so the lower level, or the root, the earth is physical, emotional is the water, Um, air, air is mental, and uh, fire is spiritual. So fire would actually be your solar plexus. So I pointed to the wrong direction, but I would just consider all of this air, ether. This is, obviously the fire, water, and earth. So, but merging the two, which, there's the higher, yeah, the higher levels, or the human nature and subhuman nature. To be human is super, as Socrates says. So there's stuff that we can do, but because we're told that human is just some average primitive type shit, then that's what you believe. But that ain't even what they believe. That's just what they want you to believe. Because they know what we're capable of, or at least they know some of what we're capable of. But they know enough to know that they can learn more, but to keep everybody else subservient and, enslaved to the third dimension, at a lower frequency. Slaves to lower frequencies and self-sabotage, self-destruction. Because whatever, that's a whole nother story. Let me not go there. But yeah, there's always gonna be more. It's always gonna be a long story. It's a fucking rabbit hole that's infinite. But it's like, I'm trying to rein it back down. Okay, just getting the body's alignment and to letting go. The way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So letting go of bad habits, getting your body's in alignment. So you put those two together, along with, getting your body's in alignment will lead you to your craft. You have to learn what that is, doing the inner work. Yes, it might be tiring. Get your ass up, meditate, do yoga, go for walks, plant your feet and your bare feet in the grass or the soil, the sand, in the water, that fresh chi, that fresh sunlight, that fresh air, what I'm saying? Get your downloads. So there's so many ways that you tap in. So getting your bodies right would be like, earth would be like practicing, martial arts, dance, because martial arts is fear, you believe it or not, you're building confidence, but you get kicked in the face, you don't move fast enough, that's your ass. It doesn't matter, how strong you are. That's going to hurt. So always keeping you grounded. And then emotional would be like, kids, kittens, cubs. I mean, not cubs, pups, like little dogs, baby dogs, puppies, little tiny babies. Stuff that brings you emotion, that softens you. That emotion by any means, I'm not saying it's not strong. Because water can flow or could crash, right? Water can sink a whole continent. But, the power of a hurricane. But I'm not saying water is weak. I'm just saying like stuff that softens, because water accepts everything. So it's emotion, flow, release, and acceptance, surrender, Fire is dominant, willpower, soul, or spirit, whereas it's will, like production, producing, service, action, movement, discipline, So heart is love, which what element would that be? I'd say it's a mixture between trust, which is Vishuddha, which is your throat chakra, and uh, I know I'm not even gonna think of the names for them. We'll just say the throat chakra and the solar plexus. So the mixture of the two, because trust and will, well, no, it's a mixture of all of them. So the because if you know, um, you feel, or no, I am. Then it's like and then you have the I will, I feel, I am. Hold on. Anyway, so the merging between the highest self and the lowest self, and that's where you get the heart, which it makes its own. I want to say its own element. Yeah. So that's a lot. I don't even know how to put that in a small, like how to say it briefly, how to sum it up. There we go. I don't know how to summarize that. But yeah, the main thing was just to get something out there, get going, because obviously I wouldn't say slacking, it's more so prep. Prep is only so much. I feel like at some point it's like, no, you should have started, and even if it's not the way you wanted it, you still should have started, because one, you don't know what's going to happen, and two, it's still like there's always going to be more. There's always going to be, what you could have did better. But I feel like once you get started, then you'll be able to implement it more effectively, whatever it is that you do notice you did better. Because if you never start, you won't be able to see what you could have done, let alone what other people say you could have did, or whatever, right? So I don't take no references from here. I'm gonna just be like, hey, yeah, try to get it on my own. Because it's easier when I'm talking to people. I already said that. But for me, when I'm just talking to the camera, it's like, ooh, yeah. But yeah, everything is connected. So if everything is connected and the way you do one thing is the way you do all things, so it seeps into other aspects of your life. The point I'm getting at is like you will find yourself being okay. So if you're lazy here, you're lazy there. You're disciplined here, you're disciplined there. Some people say they don't believe that, like, because it's a way you can be, like, let's say, for example, disciplined in the gym, but then you're loose with finances. That makes sense, but I feel like you still have a certain level of control rather than a person that's completely loose or just lazy altogether. You know what I mean? So say if you're the type that doesn't work out, doesn't, makes money from home, which is not really, I wouldn't say is strenuous, like there's not too much control from that. Like, I mean, your business might be a little, um, I mean, not your business, but like working from home might has some type of difficulty to it. But at the same time, it's like you don't work out, play video games all day, and you just don't actually do any work, inner work. Like you're not like doing anything to build yourself or your community or anything like that. So it's just kind of like, it seeps into every aspect of you, you know. So like whatever frequency you're emitting is the frequency that you're operating on, the frequency that you emit. So it's what your level of attraction is. So as Abraham Hicks says, like you're beating that drum, it's in your vortex. So you're sending that out to the universe, which is the infinite genie, which is your wish is my command. So the infinite genie don't know no. It only knows yes. So whatever you give it, even if it's something you don't want, it gives it back tenfold. So it's everything is a mirror, you know. So everything that's going on outside of you is what's going on inside of you. So that's the reason why if you don't have that discipline, source is going to look at you like, no, you're supposed to be in my likeness, and that looks nothing like me. So you're not, you know, you're not embodying God-like qualities. To be God-like is a whole nother story, because I remember Farrakhan was saying something about how you call yourself a god if you don't even make your own toilet paper. But that's another story, because, you know, we're not put in position to know how to. It's not about overthrowing the government, or, you know what I mean, to actually. We're supposed to do for self, but we're not supposed to be like, well, I need to behead the powers that be because they try to destroy me and all of my people. You know what I mean? It's like they will self-destruct, because whatever you give, you get. Like, you live by the sword, you die by the sword, right? So if they try to wipe out all of us through depopulation tactics and famine and war and you name it, right? All their tactics, right? Eventually it's going to double back on them. You know, it's gonna come full circle on them. So we don't gotta do anything. Really, it's just more so of us building our, you know, our utopia, where it's like they kind of just get weeded out. It's like you get pushed to the sideline and you go self-destruct over there. Just don't get any stratinals over here. So, but yeah, for us, it's more so of like, we just keep building ourselves, and the higher we vibrate, the higher that we raise our frequencies, the more alignment or things will be in flow. So then we'll be able to build that, you know, whereas we can make our own everything, you know. We won't need to do deforestation or to slaughter millions of animals to eat. You know what I mean? We'll just go back to natural worship in nature. You know what I'm saying? Living off nature, like living with nature. You're revering everything as sacred like we were supposed to, you know? So that way it'll work for us. Then we'll have trees that's, you know, throughout all the streets, you know, full of fruit, and big gardens and shit, you know, farmland and stuff. We're going to be more in touch with nature and the animals and stuff. So then we won't actually need to really, you know, fight over resources. And then the stuff, once we do that, the stuff that we consider important, like diamonds and stuff like that, won't even matter, because it's like, wait, this is going way out the topic. Just know, I got a lot that I want to talk about, but it's just, yeah, everything branches off into something else. So, but back to rein it back down. Okay, way you do one thing is the way you do all things. So I feel like, I know for sure that when I let go of cigarettes, tobacco this time around, I was already in the process of working on myself. So it's like, when I did it the first time, it was hard because it took me, I want to say, 7 times. This time I just stopped. I was like, that's my last vape. I don't got no more money to be buying no more. I'm not gonna do it. I mean, even if I do, which I did, I'm just not gonna buy it. That's my last one. I said it and I meant it. No. But yeah, so for real, I was so serious. I was like, no, that's my last one. And me, knowing me, I had this huge void from so many bad habits. Was like all this momentum, just like a train going full speed behind me, and I'm on the back of that motherfucker like Spider-Man, and I'm just like halting the whole train at once, because like it's still, you know, my feet is still being pushed. That's why I said that's that void where I didn't have a healthy habit to fill it, so my feet is still sliding, right? So then that's where I started overeating. I can handle that though. That eventually be minimized to where, because you're not gonna want to gorge yourself on apples and oranges. You get what I'm trying to say? Like, nature is so smart. It's like, yes, you could, but after a while you'll be like, you know what I'm saying? It just got something in it where it's like, this isn't addictive chemicals like how they put inside the food here in the West, in westernized civilization. Like fruits and vegetables, you eat so much. Like, okay, you season it up, all right, I give you that. Like, cook you some stir fry, you can overeat that all day, right? But I mean, as far as like apples, oranges, shit like that, watermelon, you'll eat so much of it, and then eventually you're going to get into the habit, because it's feeding you on a soul level, because it's photosynthesis. So you're absorbing sunlight and downloads as you eat it. So then now when you're eating it, you're actually morphing yourself into a light being. So when you're taking that in, you're becoming anew. So when your cells replenish every day too. So you're literally not the same person as you was a week ago, right? Because your cells, and everything, right? We'll get into that later. I'm trying not to lose what I was gonna say, but so, but yeah, you absorb that sunlight through the fruits and vegetables, and then it'll help you wean off that addiction, because it's like it's the downloads is like your soul telepathically communicating with the sun. It's like no, it's morphing itself, because like water is information, so the fruits and vegetables have water. It retains water. It has water content. It has a water, in it. So that's not only reflected into you, or because you are what you eat. You are what you consume with all of your senses. So when you're absorbing these fruits and vegetables, so you're becoming what you eat. Like I remember Sadhguru said, so it's an intelligence in you that's making the banana you eat become a full human being. So that same intelligence has the option to turn into an elephant or whatever, right? But it's right now it's you. It's that infinite intelligence that you actually tap into when you eat. Like I remember Alan Watts said, you're shining the sun, you're growing the grass, you're spinning the planet. You just don't know how you just don't remember how you're doing it. You're doing it unconsciously, super consciously, I would say. So actually what it is then is like now, so when you eat the fruits and vegetables, you're recreating yourself like how you would, like when you created yourself. So that in turns helps you wean that off, because it's like it's speaking to your soul, like, or your body. It's speaking to your body saying like, no, you don't need that. Like it is communication. Everything is communication. We're all speaking telepathically to everything around us. Everything is energy. So we're all absorbing it and we're all emitting. So it's like everything is communication with everything in existence. You can't not do that. You know what I mean? It's like the same way, Wi-Fi networks, right? Right? Because like if a person taps into your IP address, they get in there without no no security shit, right? They can find out all your information, whatever you've been browsing and shit, right? So it's the same thing with us, like, but yeah, just saying, I can go all day. This shit's already an hour long. I don't even know where to stop, because I've been holding back for years, and it's just like, damn. Kind of interested to see what people, you know what I'm saying? Because I seriously been cooking for years and never served not one plate. And it's crazy because I've been serving people who did not like me, who had negative and ill intentions for me. I just didn't know, because that compassion, that love overflow, that pure heart, just wouldn't let me see the wickedness in the people around me. So I paid dearly for that. And I still do every day. Have been every day. So now what I'm doing is I'm using I'm just following my gut. I'm knowing this person doesn't like me. This person has ill intentions. I'm gonna stay away from this person. I'm gonna limit access with this person. I might help this person a little bit, but ultimately, until I find my tribe, I ain't got time for that bullshit. Not even a little. So, but yeah, this is what puts that beacon out. Send light codes through my content, so that way, when you receive it, you absorb it, or you feel the frequencies. You're like, whoa, that's one of mine. Where the fuck you been at? And that's when we get it rolling. That's when we get it. That's when we get it popping. You know what I'm saying? When we really start popping our shit. But yeah, I can go all day with this. I just don't want it to be super duper long and shit like that. So yeah, but definitely need to talk to y'all and to be able to connect with y'all, because it's been too long. It's because it's definitely not our first life here on earth. So good to see you again. As love as always. And yeah, still that genuine, sincere, pure-hearted motherfucker you knew since the earth was created. You know what I'm saying? So tap in. We got a lot of making up to do. Lot of lost time, because my head has been too wrapped up in my bullshit to realize that it don't matter what you got going on. Your people still need you. Imagine how many people you could have saved from going off the deep end just from putting out content. Just because they didn't have somebody like you at least on their screen to pull them back, pull them off the ledge. That shit bothers me every day, but I'm just like, no, I just gotta. What you mean, no? Did you hear what I just said? Like, that's what's pushing me now. It's like, I mean, I've been being pushed by that, but now I'm like, okay, I'm ready enough. I'm not as ready as I intended to be, meaning like having my shit together, having, you know what I'm saying, a team, having like the right equipment, like camera, microphones, all the stuff that I would need, right? But I got enough to be like, yeah, this is cool, no, not enough. I realize I'm supposed to work with what I have. So even if it's not enough, I'm gonna make this shit enough, because we do what we do, and not what we not. So gotta get with it. But yeah, definitely about to get on it big time. Video a day, staying consistent, figuring shit out. You're gonna see the progress. I like this. The fact that I'm starting from the ground up again, like, I started getting somewhere before I went to jail, but there was something, like, nothing happens by coincidence. There was vital aspects that I was missing. We'll talk about that later. But just saying, everything happens for a reason. So I'm kind of glad I didn't start yet, and I'm just starting now. I apologize to God if I should have started sooner. Maybe it would have saved somebody from going off the deep end. Maybe some of my people has been suffering and went through some shit that could have been avoided if I would have started. But no point of crying over spilled milk, right? Main thing is where am I here now? Yes, I'm here now. And we about to get this shit going and flowing for real. You know what I'm saying? Big Cancer energy. Fuck is you saying? Nurturing spirit. planetary ruler of the moon. Like, fuck is you saying? Yeah. So, once you say that, it's just like, yeah. They already knew. It's that time. It's like a full moon. Yeah, it's that time. Uzara on your ass, nigga. Super Saiyan God, nigga. Just had to remember who the fuck I was. Just had to go through a little bit more suffering. And I say a little bit more because I've already been through it. But, and I mean a whole lot of through it. But I needed more, which is fucking insane. Because it's like, what? God, I don't know. I wonder if he'd be out there like, hold on, Ron, just a little bit more. I got you. And it's like, nah. Enough is enough. When is enough is enough. And it's just like, I'm starting to see now, though. It's like, okay. Because now I am built different. Like, I was always built different, but now I'm starting to see the gains, you know? And it might not be physical yet, but it's like, as far as character, as far as mental, as far as emotional, you know what I'm saying? Spiritual. Oh, yeah. So, but to show like where I started, because, you know, obviously this is where I started when I was a kid. But to be able to start here is humbling, because then as I make videos like every day and shit, and then they see me grow, like they see me get shit, and then, you know what I'm saying, it's gonna be like, then you get to literally emulate for the kids. Like, I had to restart 100 times. I got set back 100 times. I had 1 million people fuck me over 1 million times. You know what I'm saying? So many barriers, so many blockages, so many detours, so many, you know, this and that, and I still made it, you know. So then that way, I'm showing them I came from the mud for real. Like, I really did, you know. It's not like I'm about to just show you the glitz, the glamorous, the fucking money and shit, and it's just like they just think you somewhere high up that they can't reach, and they hope they might get to one day. Nah, fuck all that. I'm glad that I'm starting from the bottom again. Well, I can't even say again, because the first time I was making videos, I was just like cringe. It was like, don't know what to talk about, you know. But I think that was that self-development shit that I had to go through, you know, over this time since I made my last videos. I fucked around and took them motherfuckers off of Instagram and Facebook. I was like, nah. Because that's not me. It's like, it's me, but a lower level me. Like a me where it's like shy, timid. Not even shy, but just timid. Just, I don't know if I am good at, not even that. I wouldn't say, yeah, no. Because I always had a problem with the fact that I was worried about me not having my shit together. Because, you know, a man, not a man if he don't work. And a man, not a man if he can't provide. So if I can't even have my own shit together, what the fuck did I have to offer you? But then I realized, no, I don't care. There's some people out there who have way fucking millionaires and shit, right? Still don't got what I got. So, we'll let you figure that out. Yeah, some things is more important than money. Yeah, and we'll just leave it on that note, because, yeah, we do got a lot to talk about, though, for real, for real. I don't want to leave this without actually hitting on something that I know is vital. I'll fuck around and hop back on this bitch, on God. I will, because it'd be like, as soon as I put it up, then I'll be like, that's what I forgot. That's what the fuck I forgot. And it'd be like, damn, too late. No, it ain't. I might just hop on tomorrow. Fuck it.